Okay, our next presentation will be by Neil Hahn, and it's on why your business needs an NFT marketplace strategy. So Neil is the founder and CEO of Reddio, which helps developers adopt blockchain technologies with the world's first easy-to-use composable APIs. He has 15 years experience consulting with the C-suite to help improve their digital and architectural strategies. He was GM of APAC and EMEA from PingCap. He bootstrapped Twilio APAC and helped them grow their revenue 30 times in 4 years. Meanwhile, he's been actively investing in startups as an angel investor. I give you now Neil Hahn. Thank you, Neil.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. And actually, thank you so much for Ada introduce Web3. It saved me tons of time to explain what it is all about. Yeah, today I'm gonna talk about why your business needs an NFT marketplace strategy. It's really honored to be here with you guys. I know it's right after your lunchtime. Hopefully you wake up a little bit now with your coffee and listen to my this topic, right? I know what I was just briefly introduced by the host, but still I want to review a little bit who I am, right? So I has been in Singapore for the past 15 years, born as a developer, built the first startup in Singapore doing the first high fidelity adaptive streaming services for musicians, followed by the Asia's first short video sharing app many years before TikTok. Again, hired as a third employee for Twilio APAC and first hire for PingCap International Business. That's me, right? So after PingCap, I was looking for the next adventure. This is basically my third startup now. And when I look into the space, right, what's happening? Because for me, developer and the developer tooling, that's what I'm really passionate about. And when I look into the space, something really happening to me, which is the NFTs, right? And my question to you, audience, even though I can't really interact with you due to how the host actually set up the whole thing, I really want to know who you are, whether you are developers or not. But unfortunately, I can't do that. But I want to ask you these questions, right? What do you think about NFTs? What can that do for you, right? Think about it in a very few seconds, right? To me, when I started this JPEG was $2.7 million for this JPEG NFTs. I was super surprised. But when I look into the stuff, I'm not looking into the hype. I'm actually looking into how the traditional business are thinking about what NFTs bring to them. Then I actually look into all the other brands. Look at Louis Vuitton, McDonald's, NBA, Nike, and even Coca-Cola, right? They all launched their own NFTs, which is amazing. That's actually what really make me excited, because you can see something happening, not only for the latest technology for Web3, but also for the traditional business. They think differently about the JPEG, right? And as a technologist, I also look into what's happening for blockchain technologies, for Ethereum network, which is what's happening on top of which is what's happening on the Ethereum and NFT all about, right? And when you, as a technology, coming to the mainstream, some of the issues are in the mainstream are the scalabilities of the platforms or technologies and adaptabilities and also securities, right? And the Ethereum zero knowledge roll-up ecosystem has been really amazing. I see some of the interesting facts, like for me personally and the company-wise, we partner with Stocknet and Stockware, the leading technology of zero knowledge roll-up layer 2 solution providers. And we see some cloud effect, because traditionally when you see the Ethereum network, right, the more customer use it, the more expensive for the transaction fee. Look at the number, right? $12 versus $120, and only the transaction per second is only 30, right? That's not what mass market can do with this kind of technology. I know Ethereum network is trying to upgrade to version 2, which we can see some hope coming soon. But what's actually really changing for this industry are layer 2 solutions, which is Stackware, right? Look at the transactions, how many times they are, right? And they promise they can increase another 1,000 times for the concurrent transaction per second. And also look at the transaction fee, right? They can make it so low. And that's what I'm looking for. And also, with more users using it, the cost is actually coming down, not driving up. That's what I'm looking for as a cloud effect if I want to provide a developer tools, if I want to come into this space, right? And from economic perspective, right, last year was amazing for the NFT space. The transaction was $20 billion US dollars in 2021. And I see a lot of industry are upcoming, right? Where the real estates, the securities, the DeFi technologies are adding in onto the NFTs, not mentioning all the collectibles, right? The art, the JPEG, the gaming, right? The music industries, the copyrights, all these things are happening right now, right? And that's on the bottom, right? You can see some of the stats for the collectibles last year, right? That's really amazing. But from the looking of that, we can see there are something really happening. But what's really the value the non-fungible token bring to the economy? To me, traditionally, because I'm coming from we call it Web 2, right? I think so Ida already paved the way for me for the whole topic. Traditionally, just so difficult to create a digital scarcity. Just so difficult, right? There's copyright protection, there's IPs, but people are still able to pivot, and there are even startups by doing that to become some viable business, right? But what NFT really bring to us are liquidity. Some of the assets traditionally you can't do, like fixed assets. I'll explain you later, right, with some of the use cases to show you. You basically are able to transact these liquidity assets from the beginning, other than in the middle, or you can't do that at all with the current technologies. And there are scarcities, right? Because normally NFT, when they launch it, is limited. Even though it's not limited, they give you a tiered kind of permission or authority for what you can do with that, right? And the last but not the least, the utility, right? You can really use this technology for different purpose. Before the NFT was popular, I even already know some company using the non-fungible token or blockchains to put on all the luxury goods on the blockchain in terms of where they are produced, who actually send the item to where. When you scan the QR code or the chip, you basically can see all the transaction status in history of the blockchain, right? With all these utilities, you are able to use it for different purpose, right? I know maybe this is a little bit too abstract. I really want to give you some use case for you to give a little bit feeling, right? So this is one of the company I have been really observing, right? This is Roy.io coming from the US. They basically build a platform for the musicians to actually launch their NFT, right? The NFT is not the JPEG. The NFT is actually the ownership of the copyright of this music, right? For example, you see this diamond tier. It's a limited, right? And this means as an NFT holder, you hold actually 1.5789% of this copyright. They upload this music, the musician upload this music to Spotify. Whenever they collect the copyrights, the music streaming royalties from Spotify, they actually distribute the royalty based on the percentage of the ownership back to the NFT holders. That's the value, right? And with this, right, the holders also earn like a 2 VIP concert ticket of musician, which is Nash, right? Nash is actually, by the way, a Grammy award musicians. You have all these copy ownership rights, right? When you come back, right, to see what I mentioned for the few of the things, right, liquidity, the musicians are now able to list the music onto the Royal.io. They are able to collect the money directly when they launch it, which actually when Nash launched this NFT, it's 400 US dollars, 400,000 US dollars, right? I know musicians how they live their life. This amount of money is good enough for them to don't need to worry about going to different shows to get the ticket price, ticket earnings. They are able to now spend more time on the creativity of the arts, right? And there's scarcity, right? There's only this few on the ownership of that, and also the utility, right? You can use it for tickets and to collect the royalties from the musicians, where he get it from Spotify, right? And that's what I'm talking about, the value of NFTs. Maybe the musician or music industry is a little bit far from you. I'll give you one example from Singapore. What they do, right? Traditional business, they bought a house from UK, and in order to basically decrease the risk of ownership, they break into a smaller piece. And every investor can invest from a few $100s to own these assets. And in exchange, they get the rental fee based on the percentage of the ownership to the token holders, right? That's another example. And from Megatrend's perspective, all the youngsters now play metaverse. Facebook already changed the name to Meta, right? It's a big thing. The youngsters now play and grow with Roblox. And I see so many companies, like this company is being, my customer has been using the NFTs and like Unreal Engine to mimic the virtual city. And every piece of the arts on the wall, on the people who wear that one as an avatar, are NFTs. Basically, they sell that on behalf of the different brands, right? That's what I see the value of the brands, why you need to really think about how you want to do with what's going on with the youngsters, right? So to me, I know I have limited time, but to me, after some of the examples and studying the industries, I see the NFT is definitely not a JPEG, right? It's actually the future of your customer loyalty, where your customer will have a different tiered membership. They hold different NFTs, and different membership have different rewards for different things, like what you see from Nash EP from Royal.io, right? So that's what I see the future gonna be for the NFTs. And you can put all these things like the EP from Nash onto secondary market, like OpenSea for the liquidity, where you can, your customer, one good example I always see is a golf membership, right? Right now, if you hold golf membership, you can't transact. But now, if it's an NFT, you are able to launch it and transact on the OpenSea, and the other people can own it. And when you see your wallet, it's actually transfer to a wallet with that golf membership. That's what the purpose of the liquidity, right? So that's where I believe, right? Every business, based on their own business logic, need to build an NFT marketplace. I'm even not talking about strategy here already. You need to build a marketplace for future, for the current on what's happening. And it should be in-app, because right now you can't imagine a golf membership club. NFTs are managed by OpenSea. The user experience will sucks, right? When you see the membership, you have to see the OpenSea wallet, whether you have that NFT to come and book the golf, right? That doesn't make sense. That's why the user experience is super critical for that. But building the NFT is not easy at all. I even not list here, right? Right now, there are only 40,000 Solidity smart contract developers. Even myself have had a hard time to hire the quality smart contract developers. Not mentioning all these challenges I listed here, like expensive gas fee, how you build a system can scale. When I see scale, think about metaverse. If the transaction happening like tens of thousand transactions per second, how are you going to handle that? And there are so many blockchains, right? Not only Ethereum, there's Solana, there's Stackware, Binance. How are you going to handle that? And with the more user experience improved, different companies are looking into build their different platforms, right? In-app experience. And I also have customer asking me the compliance and regulations. Simple example, right? How can I use credit card to actually buy NFTs? So traditionally, you may think, oh, I can only use cryptocurrency, but it's actually changing, right? So that's where I build Reddio, which is a company. We are mission to help you build an NFT to your own apps in 5 minutes time. And it's a layer 2 agnostic for the NFTs on Ethereum for now. And we are supporting multiple chains coming up. We help you go to market very fast with few days versus like a few months when you don't have this technology. You are able to use our API to program the logic based on your business logic with our APIs. It's highly scalable and reliable. And we are partner with a company like a Checkout for the credit card payment for the NFTs and absolutely for the cryptocurrency payment too. And best of all, you don't need smart contract experience to build on top of our APIs to have your own NFT marketplaces. This is our team. We have been really building a strong team to fulfill this mission to power your NFT marketplace for future. We are invested by the leading investors from Tiger Cube, Arena Holdings, and one of the largest crypto investment company, Paradigm. Yeah, thank you so much. I really looking forward for you to build your own business on top of our technology. Come up to sign up on reddio.com if you have any question there. And also, right, I believe at this juncture, this NFT and also what's happening at Web3 are for the entrepreneurs who want to build their own business with different unique audience. And also for the existing business, right? That's the right time for you to build the new user acquisition channel and make them loyal. Right? That's what I want to talk about. Hopefully, you are clear on some of the things I talk about, right? Yeah. With that, I'm gonna end my presentation. Not sure any questions here.
Thank you very much, Neil. Excellent. Neil, there is a question from Tim Sheffman. How do Solana and Cardano compare in terms of transactions or costs and NFTs?
That's a very good question, right? That's why because if you talk to me, we give you some of the messages, right? But if you don't talk to us, basically you will switch to use Solana for the scalability and lower transaction fee. That's what we have been seeing for customer doing. I wouldn't see any of the technology will be good or bad because there are technology are trying to resolve the scalabilities of the blockchains, right? And they are just using different technologies. Like Solana, they make the block larger to actually make sure the approval on the blockchain are faster. But that doesn't mean like it all good or bad technology, right? Because there's always trade-off, right? When they do that, they basically need a more expensive machines to power the blockchain. The miners and mining companies have to put in more expensive machines to support that blockchains, right? Compared to Ethereum network, similarly to what you are asking for another chain, right? It's just a little bit different underneath technology, but sooner or later they will hit some bottleneck. When I show you the slide on the comparison to the different blockchains, right? When the market cap increase, for example, even for Solana, if the market cap of users is 10 times more, the transaction fee is also 10 times more. sooner or later they'll come to the stage of how much gas fee you need to pay for the Ethereum nowadays, and you will need to pay for the Solana gas fee, right? So for me, the end solution will be layer 2. And that's the scalability of the blockchain. What does layer 2 do is they basically scale for you, and they offload all the transactions. They only need to upload the information to the mainnet when they need to, right? That's where you can offload the transaction from mainnet to lower down the cost to make sure the whole thing is more scalable and affordable.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Neil. Neil, David Tan says, hi, I'm new to NFT. How do NFTs impact the insurance and real estate industries?
That's a very good question. I see some of the company upcoming doing that already. Show you one example already on the real estates. I'll give you another example on the real estates, right? We even see some company are building a result by launching their NFTs. By doing that, right, basically they give the ownership earlier to the future customer, and in exchange, right, they get the cash in advance. That gives them the liquidity in the first place. Later on, the NFT become the membership for the resort, where you can use the NFT to like pre-booking, have some discount in there for the merchant in those resorts. So this is one of the example, like what real estate has been happening. There are just so many more, right? And in terms of the insurance, that's a very good question. I see the insurance because end of the day, the insurance is the ownership of a certificate, like you have this insurance. Anytime there's anything happening, you got something payback, right? That ownership is actually can be an NFT. I see some insurance company has been building that. Actually, after this this talk, I'll meet some customer in the insurance industry. They are trying to build that, right? So that ownership can be liquidated. If you don't want that insurance, definitely there are some legal issues you need to handle, right? How are you going to transfer that ownership to your, may not be your friend or other people, actually can be your siblings or your sons or daughters, right? That transfer can be happening with NFTs. The liquidity can happen earlier if you pass some legal compliance or regulations, right? These are some things I can see that's happening because imagine the future generations, they think the ownership of the digital assets, a big part of the digital assets is actually NFTs, right? They will look into the wallet, oh, that's my insurance. That's what's happening with this insurance in this insurance company. I can have this when there's something happens. These are all like connected.
Great, thank you, Neil. And final question, will you or do you already plan to hold some offline meetups for NFT? Somebody wanting to talk about NFTs and learn, I would guess.
Absolutely, actually, that's a rare question because we see the industry has been really coming up, and Singapore is a very interesting place for the whole Web3. Actually, we are organizing some future events, not only for NFTs, but also for the Web3. We are even planning some it's like a YC combinator where we incubate some of the projects with some of the venture capital, and we help you and guide you through how to use NFT to build a future engagement with your customers. And it's in planning. At the same time, we are also launching some talks and offline meetups, since we can already meet offline now. Remember, sign up at Reddio.com. We will actually broadcast you once the event is coming up.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for the engagement with the audience, and definitely API Days to invite me over. You guys have a good day.